Party started. 5, 4.
Look at that ass.
Welcome to the Let's Be Real podcast, where we are regarded to as the Starting Five. We are powered by the Binge Podcast Network, and we are sponsored by Overtime Heroics Memphis. Let's be real about 81.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Episode 81. Kobe famously had 81 points on Toronto Raptors. Rest in peace. We'll dedicate this episode to him.
Oh, yeah. So we got to go hard, bro. We got to have a Mamba mentality, bro. We got to be ready. We got to be ready to squash on your opponent, bro. Is what we got to do, bro. Squash your opponent. Squash your opponent.
I was born red like Lance.
Vegetable.
Oh man.
Vegetable.
Shout out to Kobe's mentor and protege, Michael Jordan. Watch The Last Dance. We'll be talking about that next week. Recapping all 10 episodes on episode 82. So before we get started this week, Took brought something to the table right before the episode, and it's pretty good. So let's go and go with it. What is something personal that y'all have accomplished throughout this quarantine?
For me, I'm going to go with patience. Patience is, or me having better patience is something that it was kind of like my New Year's resolution. I typically don't come up with one, but I wanted to do something different this year. So patience or having better patience was my New Year's resolution. And as we are now in this quarantine thing and this COVID-19 it's affecting everybody, I've had to be very patient when it comes to different things. Of course, I've talked about a couple of times going through this housing process. So that's hella patience. If you ever want to develop patience, go through the housing process. There's definitely patience there. And then also I see my wife like 24/7. So
She gonna watch this,
right. She's okay. Right, exactly. So like being with her all day and then like also like preparing for like the baby and stuff like that, it's helped me develop a lot of patience. So that's one thing that I've definitely
I think one thing I've accomplished is just getting better with technology during this time, with the job that I have and going more virtual as opposed to like seeing people on a daily basis. It's just further develop my skills when it comes to technology, which is when you think about what jobs I'm looking for, even like 5-6 years from now, it's really stand up to the seniors that are graduating now as well, but like just learning different ways to further your knowledge that you have and knowing that you're never at the top of your learning curve. So that's it.
I actually got two of them. The first one is me growing spiritually. You know what I'm saying? I look at this whole journey, even with the whole quarantine and Corona, is just a spiritual journey for a lot of people, or really for everybody. But one thing that really started was when like April was going to be a good financial month for me as far as like DJing goes. So, I just had to kind of look at myself in the mirror and be like, everything happened for a reason and everything. It's like, it's crazy because I got the whatever shirt on and it was like right before we went on lockdown. That's when I actually started working there. So it was like, God got me, I'm still able to make money, you know what I'm saying? So just, and a bunch of other crazy things that have happened, but God has a good sense of humor, and I've been laughing ever since. So, it's put my mind at a better spot. But just a smaller goal, man, y'all know me, I'm a gamer. I love me some 2K. So about, a couple weeks ago, I finally reached Elite. So anybody want this smoking 2K that's listening, y'all hit me up. Hit me up, bro.
Nice little plug.
Let's be real. I'm on all the smoke, bro.
Look, we ran last night, was killing people.
Man, they don't know, bro. They don't know. But yeah, man. And just like I said, just grinding with y'all, like 81 episodes. Like, we still going, bro.
It's crazy. I remember episode 1 in my living room.
The lost files.
Man. I think for me, what I've learned during this quarantine is that, you know, sports has played a big part in my life. And I'm realizing that, you know, nothing is promised at all. You know, like, God can shut this whole thing down and make everybody take a breather and just figure out like what we need to do. And so kind of like what Took said, you know, it's kind of a development on a spiritual level. And even like you said, Skylar, it's like exercising patience. So just like you went through the housing process and, you know, that had been going on since last year, but it was amplified, you know, moving right in the midst of the start of the quarantine, which was a patience process. And, you know, like I said before, sports is a big thing for me, you know, growing up playing sports, watching sports, and now it's just kind of shut down. So it's kind of helped me slow down and just kind of just focus more on myself and not just what's going on around me, and to kind of help myself, you know, develop outside of just sports and work. So yeah, definitely just learn to slow down is like the big thing.
Well, for me, it was just learning to make time for myself and just learn to be at peace with myself, because I definitely suffered from anxiety, and I think I had my breaking point this past Friday, because I literally lost my job last Friday because squad laid off 150 people, could have easily been in there 150, and just thankful and blessed that I wasn't. I'm still working today. Also, while this time out, even though I've been like savage with sports all my life, I can't go without it. Like, I have to do something sporting related, and rediscover my love for baseball as I did as a child. So I've been watching like old games, playing MLB The Show on my PlayStation. So just that whole deal. I'm happy this new 30 for 30 is coming on McGuire and Sosa. So, but just overall making time for myself, you know, learn to be at peace with myself and just counting my blessings. Because as I said, could be sitting here doing this podcast with you guys unemployed, but I'm not. So, hey, I'm just thankful to God for that. So, hey, that's how I've been coping.
So, lessons. It's for me just learning, relaxing. I mean, like, almost everyone of us have pointed to it. Just, you know, everything going on around me, you finally just say, sit down somewhere. Like, Saturday, like, I done had straight Saturdays. I ain't never had this many Saturdays before that. I'm just wake up like, oh, I got nothing to do.
Right. Awkward.
Right.
And most of the time, like, I'm always, and it's like, I don't really go out as often, but it's like I do miss like having options.
Right.
And of course they started phase 1 and opened up some bowling alleys and stuff, but I'm like way more cautious. I'm not going to the gym even though it's some of them are open. I'm like, nah, I'm gonna run outside when it's not raining, the sun is out. Like, I'm not finna take chances at that. But professionally at my job, where everybody see a Friday. I'm more the social media scene there, so I'm learning some more marketing stuff for the podcast. I can't say I do enjoy my job because they do help you personally and professionally. So I just got my certified mold inspector certification last week, and we actually promoting our social media job Friday. And also, we are all working on getting our project. I'm a project manager. We are working on our project management certification as a company. And we're gonna start taking the class in June. So just both professionally and personally, I've learned a lot during this quarantine. And like I said, at work, I had my job. I'm actually the project manager over there. They slowed down, so it gave me more time to focus on studying for those certifications.
So good look.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, great. Bro. But let's go top of the analytics today. We're gonna talk about Memphis / Real Talk. It's on Aston, our other podcast member, came with this hometown player still paying out. As y'all know, John Wall started this, and he's a John Wall fan, so of course.
Obviously, yeah.
We bring back the You So Old game that Skylar started, what about we I think it's been over a month since we last done it. So bring that back. Saw a couple of things on Twitter that we felt old about. Got the NFL schedule released. That was released last week. The NFL keep bringing out stuff. I think they're about to run out after this. But shout out to them for still helping us through. And we're finished with our famous troll. Oh, nah. First up, Memphis / Real Talk. First up, John Wall had made it was a video, Instagram Live he had with someone, and they were just talking about someone mentioned something about Memphis players. He said something about when he played Joe Jackson in high school, and Joe Jackson gave him work. And the light-skinned dude, we all know is Andre Hollins. He got his name at the time, but he was talking about how they gave him the work in high school, and it sparked like a debate on Facebook and everywhere about, I just seen plenty of Joe Jackson posts. Hey, people talking about, somebody talking about someone disrespecting him, or people talking about he the best high school player ever in Memphis. You know what happened in his career at the University of Memphis. So we're just throwing the question out, like, do hometown players benefit, like high school players, when they go off to college? Do they benefit leaving the city more than staying at home and attending the University of Memphis?
Well, history has shown that for most of them, they benefit more when they leave the city. But it really starts when they're actually in the city and just how things transpire when they're not on the basketball court, just like how you're conducting yourself, how you're carrying yourself, because a lot of this Memphis talent think that the same thing that you've done in high school, they're just going to do in college, and that's not always the case. But yeah, just for me, and I'll just pass it off to you guys before I hop back in. It's more so if they leave the city, in my opinion. But I'll just kick it to you guys and get your guys' take, and then we can just go from there.
Do y'all know? Go ahead, Scott. You want to go ahead?
No, go right ahead, sir.
Okay. Do y'all know the last player that is from Memphis that attended Memphis that got drafted by the NBA?
Jeremiah Martin?
Rodney Carney?
Nope. It was
Not Rodney Carney. Antonio Burks.
Nope. It was Elliot Williams
Yep.
in 2010.
Okay.
In 2010. Now remember, he went to Duke first.
He went to Duke originally.
And his mom got sick, and he transferred back to Memphis. And I don't know if any of y'all remember Elliot's career. I know he played with the Blazers for a quick second. I do remember watching Elliot in high school when he played against Germantown, and my Lord. It was crazy at St. George's. But I can't really say that it's fair to I guess get deep into this conversation, because for one, we all know about Memphis basketball. We know as far as like the city of Memphis, and that there are some ball players here. Like I remember growing up playing against Chris Crawford, playing against Joe Jackson, and playing against Tariq Black and all these other players. Andre Hollins. Quick note about Andre Hollins. He used to be fat when we were like in middle school. So he was actually a big man first, and then he just never grew. So he stayed the same height and actually lost weight and became a point guard. So it was always crazy to see him at White Station and he was a point guard. For me, it was weird. Right. But I think it's kind of unfair to judge Memphis players on how successful they are, whether they stay in Memphis to attend U of M or go somewhere else, because basketball is not national anymore. It's international. So it's like you got players from Latvia and China and Europe and all other places overseas that we really can't really just say like, oh, because players don't get drafted out of Memphis, it benefits them to leave. I mean, it might, but you could say the same for like New York or California or wherever else. I just think that basketball is in the place now, a much better place where players are coming from all across the world that now focusing on just one small city. I mean, relative to like New York City and Los Angeles, Memphis is small. One small city producing basketball talent, it not doing well is, kind of unfair to me. I think just playing any basketball coming from Memphis, whether it's overseas, G League, like Jeremiah Martin, and other places, I think that's an accomplishment for me. So Memphis is still a pipeline for basketball, just not straight to like the NBA and playing like top-notch professional basketball, in my opinion.
Yeah, I think it goes back to, I'm sorry I don't have the numbers in front of me, but if you ever look at the percentages of how likely it is for somebody to go pro, whether that's basketball or football, that percentage is very, very low. So regardless if you're coming from Memphis, Dallas, New York, Las Vegas, whatever the case, wherever you're coming from, the percentages are so small. And even with those percentages, those people are just somehow or some way getting lucky. Like whether you go to whatever school you go to, who your coach is, depending on what time you go to that school, like how long you're there. Like it's so difficult for anybody to make it big. So right. So I think that's if I want to answer the question, that's the answer right there. It's so hard for anybody to make it big where depending on whatever sport you play. So I mean, you got the factor of that. One thing kind of Savage that hit on as well too. It's so many more people are playing sports these days, right? So like 70s, 80s, and 90s, like those numbers aren't even compared to what how many people play sports now. So you got to also factor that into it as well too. So I mean, if you want, like I said, if you want to really look into it, the percentages are so small for anybody to hit big, really.
Yeah.
I think it also has to do with the unfair expectations that we put on a lot of the players too. Like if we think about, when Joe Jackson was at White Station and, Chris Crawford and was at, Mitchell and everything. It's like these dudes look like they were going to the league based on how they were killing, in their high schools. And then they come to Memphis, with even Tyreek Black, who did have a brief stint in the NBA. High school, he was the man, and they all came to Memphis. And I know I was very, very critical at the time of passive passing. Like, dude should not have been the coach for the Tigers, you know what I'm saying? And I just say that because, like, this whole conversation really got me around those three particular people, you know what I'm saying? They were the ones that were supposed to take Memphis to the promised land, back in 2010 because they were nationally ranked. They were killers in high school, Joe Jackson accolades, Tyreek Black accolades. Like, everybody was supposed to be that, what they were supposed to be. And then we had Will Barton as well. So my whole thing was we had the wrong coach coaching us. And I think at that point it's like once none of them really made it to the NBA or had brief stints, it's like, okay, we're going to forget about you. You know what I'm saying? And what was John Wall? Shout out to John Wall for acknowledging, Joe Jackson. Like these dudes were cold back in the day, but because of like certain circumstances too, it's like, because they didn't go to the league, we put unfair expectations on them too.
Right. It's like the second time we gave a shout out to John Wall.
I know, man.
Right.
Where is that? I get it to him. John Wall looked like he was working too, salute to him.
But yeah, you took the my bad. Go ahead. You took beginning. You took the words out of my mouth. Unfair expectations. I just honestly feel like even that team. Yeah, I don't think Josh Pastner was the right coach, but I didn't expect them to win that championship. I thought they were overhyped. In my personal opinion.
Yeah, I remember talking about that, Shark. He said, this team not that good.
Even with like Joe Jackson, like as cold as he was in high school, and believe me, he's cold. But I think overrated is a big word. I used to say he was overrated, but I think that word was it's still too big. He wasn't exactly overrated, but I think we, as a city, overrated him and expected and put all this unnecessary pressure on him to deliver us a championship that pretty much forced him to stay. Because honestly, he should have transferred. And even then, I just never thought Joe Jackson would make it to the NBA. I just thought he was, unless he got a jump shot, which he never really developed. I'm like, he was just too short.
He was small. Like, he never really just put on any size or anything, too. So
right. Yeah. And he was athletic, but it's like, you're going to have to develop a shot. And it's like, at some point, I didn't see that happening because he wasn't a true point guard. And I mean, it's like, we love AI and stuff. Not many small point guards, scoring point guards make it. Like, there's an outlier. Allen Iverson, probably the only one you could truly think of as a scoring first type of point guard. But like other players, Chris Crawford, I saw him in high school, and I thought he could shoot, but I thought he was lazy, honestly. He actually got better.
Can I reveal my hot take that I always had on Chris Crawford?
Yeah.
He should have went to Tennessee.
I agree.
Yep.
He should have went to Tennessee.
Why?
I just think the skill set that he had, and I think this will be a decent comparison because this guy also went to Tennessee. How Josh Richardson ended up turning out, I think the exact same thing could have happened for Chris Crawford.
I agree. Yep.
Quick story about Chris Crawford. I remember when I first played against Chris Crawford. This was like Pee Wee League at Marion Hill Community Center.
Yeah.
And my team, we were a good team. Like, we were like probably one of the best teams in the Pee Wee League. And then we saw this new team, and it was Chris Crawford and his brother Sean. And we thought we were cold until Chris Crawford hit a half-court shot when we like 7 years old. And I was like, who is this dude that just pure pulled a jumper on us, like 7, 8 years old, y'all? So, yeah. I got plenty of stories about basketball in the city. It's crazy.
Yeah. Also, I think it's a fake stigma about players leaving and making it. Like, that is young. If the NBA didn't implement the going straight from high school rule, he was going straight to the NBA from high school.
Yep,
Like,
so it was.
That's all he was talking about.
He was definitely looking to make the jump, and then once they instituted the rule, he went to Georgia Tech, played on the Paul for a year, and he was in the 07 draft. So
still playing too, so you know it's good.
Yeah.
He good.
And also another player, Tara Black. A lot of people is like, oh, he transferred to Kansas. How he made the league. He still won undrafted. Doesn't make a difference. He made the league because he worked hard after going undrafted and got in there. Like, whether he stayed in Memphis his last year or went to Kansas like he did, I mean, like, please, I never thought the hype on this stuff. I just think those players were who they were. I honestly believe when Joe went somewhere else, I mean, he still had a pretty good career in Memphis. He just wanted, they didn't make the Sweet 16.
Yeah, Joe was a 2-time tournament MVP, first team all conference. Like, dude was for real.
I have a few different takes, so please pardon me. My first part is I did a research paper back when y'all was in like middle school and I was like a little bit older, right?
Hey, you so old, hey.
Yeah, it's coming up. But I'm so old that I did a research paper while I was at Ohio University about college athletes that were starters. And I did my research, and the amount of people that go on to have successful 3 to 5 years in their respective sports, no matter what that sport might be, is 0.003% within your position, right? So that means like if you feel like you're the best left tackle, line up 1,000 left tackles, and 3 of y'all will make it, but you have to be starters, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? So that I did that research. That was back, 05, 06. So I'm sure those numbers may be a little bit different, but for those that don't understand math and understand what I'm saying, that's 0.003% of athletes that are starters will actually go on to be successful anyway. So to your point, it's like they're like striking iron, right? Or lightning in the bottle, so to speak, when you actually get there. And when I first thought of Memphis as a basketball place, please. I'm from Ohio. Nobody believed nothing about Memphis, Tennessee besides First 48. And yeah. And boy, I was extremely shocked to find out when I did my research before I moved down here, how well groomed you all are for sports in regards to basketball. And as a coach now, seeing the different talent levels that are here, I mean, like I was a game or two away from coaching against Penny when he was in high school. Like he was a high school coach, and of course, I was going to get blown out. Don't get me wrong. But, like, to hear that and to hear me having to go against him and see the talent level that he produced is amazing. So that talent pool in Memphis, I believe, is very much in the dark as opposed to those people that are from the LAs, the New Yorks, the Chicagos, that just believe in what their professional teams have done, not so much how well was in high school. And as I think of high school, I think of one player that I played against in high school. He would have been 2 years younger than me. It was B.J. Mullins. B.J. Mullins is this tall white kid that walks into the gym and, I mean, scares the crap out of me.
Ohio State.
Yeah. And that was during my time when I was working out with it's called World Harvest Bible College, so working out to play on that team. And he was coming to play with that team, and like, I don't know, he was playing me 9th or 10th grade. I said, there's no way he's not going to the league. He was about 6'10" in 10th grade. He panned out. He actually made it to the league, right? He got drafted, went to college, got drafted as well. And now he's overseas. But, I mean, like, just to see him and make it, that was a phenomenal story for me watching him, along with other people I played, like Michael, like, you got a great list. Savage Island got like Michael Conley, Greg Oden, Daquan Cook, and a few others that I played against. But like that, the talent level is here in Memphis. Is what I'm getting at. And there are players that I hope do make it, but also understand the rhetoric that you will not make it as well too, right? Like there has to be that option unless you got Michael Jordan mentality or the Kobe mentality, the Mamba mentality that you're going to make it. But there's going to be, if you're the best shooting guard right now in the city of Memphis, there's 1,000 others just like you. Yeah. What are you going to do to be better than those 997 to make it yourself more successful?
Yeah, like I said, stars just have to align for things to go their way. I mean, like you said, it's 0.003%. Like that's a very low percentage, right? So you got to go from, where you were born to who's your middle school coach, who's your high school coach,
your genetics.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
man.
It's just so small. Like I said, stars have to align everything. Unless you Zion Williamson, you just freakishly athletic like that. But it's so hard. So like I said, regardless if you're from 901, 615, whatever, 614. I know I said 614. Regardless of whatever your area code is, things just have to be so perfect for you to make even to the league, and then even when you make it to the league, to let alone like have longevity there. So it's wild.
Like we saw young Michael Jordan, his high school coach for him cutting him in 10th grade. Bro was 5'11". He grew forward like 4 or 5 inches over the next summer. Like,
exactly.
Okay,
Yeah, exactly.
You know what? After I heard that, I was like,
We know.
Right. If anything, him get cut is the reason we have Michael Jordan. They need to thank him for it.
For me, on the bench, I couldn't even guard my
Tyler Harris who just transferred. Probably some people I haven't seen nobody talking about. I know when he was coming out, when he chose me, some people like he just left went out of town. Once again, like Joe, now Tyler is really too short. Like it wasn't even thought of him really going to the league coming out of high school. It was always I thought he was gonna be like a 6 man on a really good D1 team at most. Shout out to Austin Nichols. He just graduated from University of Memphis, and y'all know his story. He played in Memphis, transferred with stuff with Josh Pastner, went to Virginia, got kicked out the team.
Yeah, played 1 game, 2 minutes.
Yep, kicked out the team, and like I said, came back around, graduated. I think he was playing for the Memphis Awesome G League. Come back to Memphis and graduating. Shout out to David Rudd for listening to Jason and John show that he was episode he was on Jason and John, and invited him to come back to the University of Memphis to finish his degree. Hey Trevor, you said you had something else after all of us went.
Oh no, you guys kind of just took it away. I was just hitting the just gonna name some examples of things of that nature of some players or whatever, but we can move forward. It's no biggie.
I just want to call. You're just gonna see my haircut real quick.
Stop. All right, man. You so old. I feel like you should have a theme song. I feel
like the Jeffersons.
Wow.
All right, so what we'll do, ladies and gentlemen, for the ladies that are watching, and gentlemen that's on here, what I will do is basically it's almost like who am I type thing. So I will give you statistics or things about this particular person, and then of course y'all can guess who it is. And then once I really tell you who it is, you'll be like, damn, I'm like really old. Again, and the reason I like this game is because we talk about all the time, like most of us are like late 20s, except you. Oh, yes. We're like 20s, so like a lot of times we see things and we're like, dang, like I'm really old. Like I saw earlier today that Matt Liner is 37. I was like, Jesus Christ, I'm 37. It don't matter. He's 37. Like we watched him like dominate college football for like what 2 or 3. We watched him dominate college football for 2 or 3 years. That man is 37, right? All right. So happening. Y'all ready?
Let's do it.
All right. So this particular person, this particular player, has 15,347 rushing yards. He has played with 4 different teams. He has 79 career rushing touchdowns.
He's still playing?
Career rushing touchdowns. Okay, yes, he's still playing. Was drafted by University of Miami. So from you. recently signed with the New York Jets.
Hey, you want me to
We know that.
And his son, now this is the reason I brought this up. His son recently signed with Southern Miss. I was like, golly, I am old. Shout out to Frank Gore.
Frank Gore.
I was like, he came across the ESPN ticket a couple days ago. He said something about his son. I was like, Frank Gore Jr., bro? Like, golly,
I have a question about him. Why is he still playing? Like, what he trying to do?
Working.
He's not trying to win. He's not trying to win.
He got money to get. He got money to get, bro.
Gotta put his son through school. Clearly, put his son through school.
Hey, give him 3 more years and he gonna retire. Make sure his son get
Right there.
Hey man, and that's a good one.
Sign with the Jets.
So what they gonna do with the Bills last year?
I don't know. Ain't my problem.
Okay, I thought you put on the back.
I do want to
He
bet.
did his thing with the
Clearly,
Bills.
he ain't going nowhere.
I knew them because as a Titans fan, he was the coach last couple years. And then he went to the Bills last year and still didn't work when they played.
Yep.
I'm like, bro,
He's been on more than 4 teams. He's been on like 7 teams.
Well, 5 now with the Jets.
the 49ers for the
He was with the 49ers for a long time.
Yeah.
A solid 10 for a year. Sure, it's out. Man, I got myself. So, a couple weeks ago, after the draft, the Titans, we needed cornerbacks. We got Christian Fulton. So we started looking towards next year for like cornerbacks next year because we probably looking towards letting Malcolm Butler go after this season. They did a top list of their top 5 cornerbacks. And this person who's a junior popped up on this list. I looked at his father, his pops, who used to play in the league, who played for Savage Eagles. He's a pick six machine for the Eagles and the Patriots. Good again, pick six. You burn the coverage though.
I don't know.
Asante Samuel
That is a name.
That's a name.
Asante Samuel.
Jr.
What?
It's
What?
his draft next year. Asante Samuel is 39. I must have some age 16 or something.
That's that boy. That was Asante Samuel fame, right?
Hey. Playmaker, bro.
That man couldn't cover a piece of paper, but he get you a pick six though.
Get you a pick six.
He can't cover a piece of paper. God, I'm old. Okay. Anybody else got one?
I actually got one.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, so of course I put in a group me and I tweeted it, but I just gotta let it be known. And you know what I'm saying? The last time that the Cowboys went to the Super Bowl, I'm gonna give the people that's listening 3 seconds to think of the number one song at the time. It was the Macarena.
Wow.
That's like you
That was the number one song. The last time the Cowboys went to a Super Bowl, the Macarena was the number one song in the world, in America.
CD refrain, CD. Refrain.
That was a
So,
good one, too.
You know what I'm saying? We old.
That was a long time ago.
We old. What was it, 1996, right? We old. Oh, my God.
Right.
Yeah,
I was 4.
I got
Me
one.
too.
I got one, y'all. I got one. So I was curious about NBA teams and playoff droughts. Do y'all know the team that has the biggest playoff drought in the NBA?
The Knicks.
Currently,
Sacramento Queens.
Sacramento Kings.
That is correct. The Sacramento Kings. They last made the playoffs in 2006.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all the roster because I saw this and I was like, "Bro, what?" So this was the roster for the 2006 Sacramento Kings. All right, Sharif Abdul-Rahim,
A name.
Yeah.
A name.
That point.
Francisco Garcia,
Oh,
Brad Miller,
Brad-
Bonzi Wells,
Bugsy.
He low-key had to work.
Yeah.
Corliss Williamson,
Damn.
That's a nice
Wow.
Long socks.
Arkansas.
Vitaly Potapenko, who's a coach for the Grizzlies now.
Wow.
Way to pronounce that.
Kevin Martin, of course, the walking bucket. Mike Bibby was still playing with the Kings in 06.
Damn.
Michael Bibby.
You said
Mike Bibby
Oh,
was still playing. And my personal favorite, Ron Artest, was with the Kings.
He
I
was the
forgot
Metal
he played
World.
with the Kings.
No, he won't
Yeah,
Metal World. He just changed his name again.
Is that when he wore 93 or 15?
Or 93 with the Kings.
93, yeah.
So I was just like, wow, it's been 14 years since the Kings have made the playoffs. That's a long time. Like I thought it'd be the Knicks, but I forget they had Melo for a quick second. But the Kings have not been good for a long time.
Hey, what was the third name you said after Francisco Garcia? Because we was raving about it. Who would be?
Bonzi Wells.
Okay, I thought you said somebody between. Yeah.
Willis Williamson, Vitaly Potapenko, Brad Miller.
Who's the coach?
Brad Miller.
The coach was Rick Adelman still.
Oh, wow.
So, I mean, I don't see them making no time soon, so this might go on for a little bit longer for your boy Luke Walton.
Yep. Free Buddy Hill. I'm still saying it.
Who you got? What you say, Trevor?
Free Buddy Hill.
Free Buddy Hill.
Oh, he ain't free nothing.
I'm still saying free. Still saying Free Buddy Hill.
Nah. So two brought up 96, so I thought that was a good year. 96 is the last time, and I want to stay on the NBA too, is the last time that this team did not make the playoffs.
You gotta be San Antonio.
I was
Gotta
saying,
be.
You gotta be San Antonio. It's a long time. It's woo.
It would have ended this year, too.
Yeah, well, it's
It still might be this year.
They canceled the season. He's probably gonna end.
Who was the coach for them? It wasn't Pop, was it?
Nah, that was
Was it Vinny?
first year. I'll do the research. I'll get right back to you.
Okay.
I think it was
Like,
Pop.
man.
It was the first year. He had just took over.
It had to be 1 year, and then he just inherited.
Oh yeah, that was his
David
first
Robinson.
season. Yeah,
Damn.
Yeah.
his first season.
You've been there for a long time.
Yeah.
Golly.
And he said that somewhere. Talking about, speaking of Pop, didn't Took say like 2 years ago that Pop's gonna be the Lakers coach? I ain't forget that trolling now, Took.
He's usually wrong.
That's why I trolling off.
I could see him leaving soon, though. That I would give you. I could see him leaving very soon, though. Because he looks pissed with that roster. Coach every time.
No, I think I said the Knicks.
He looks pissed.
I mean,
He said the Lakers. He said the
I'm sorry.
Lakers.
I said the Lakers.
He said the Lakers. I remember that. He said the Lakers.
Okay.
Because I was all for that. I'm like, shit.
I did find out Metal World pieces of Ron Artest. Well, his new name is Metal Ford Artest. He got married and took his wife's last name.
Wow.
Deals.
Wow.
Wife's last name is Ford.
I thought he bought a car or something. I'm about to say Metal Ford.
First of all, a man getting married and taking his wife's last name is the most Ron Artest thing I've ever heard of in my time. If it ain't one person on earth that would do that, it's Ron Artest. I can see him doing that.
Can I call him?
Or Robin. Or Robin.
I was just about to say, can he be the Robin of our time?
Yeah.
I mean, he did join the GOAT. He did join the GOAT and won a ring. So hey,
He had a good game that last game
Good
too.
defense.
Yep, defense. I mean, like, right, yeah.
Yeah.
He was the
And he
reason.
actually didn't start the Malice in the Palace.
No, the fan did.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man,
He also.
Man O'Neal was there though.
How long? That's at the Palace was what, 04?
Oh, yep.
There you go. That's another one. That was a long time ago. That was a 4.
Hey, Ron Artest was supposed to end. He was supposed to be the next great Bull after the dynasty. Jerry Krause wanted to pick him the next. I was a Bulls fan. Trust me. Well, first Elton Brand's supposed to be. He was supposed to be Eddie Curry, Tasha Chandler. We go about it.
Eddie Curry is a name.
Yeah.
Curry's a bust.
That is true.
Anybody else got any more? So
I'm done. I'm old.
I'm tired of putting it over now. All right, let's get ready for this NFL schedule release.
Who just go first?
Steelers.
Oh, God.
Let's end off with the fireworks. Let's go with the Panthers and Cowboys. We need the fireworks.
Sure, you want to take the lead?
We want to be a dope.
first of all, we don't have the Patriots on the schedule, so thank you,
Hey.
Lord.
Oh, thank you so much for pointing that out. Thank you.
That's the first thing I want to point out. that we don't have to pay schedule this year. Thank Jesus for that. Of course, we have the NFC East this year, so that means Philly, Dallas, Redskins, and the Giants. We starting off the season against Danny Dimes and the Giants. I'm just
He's going to have 2 fumbles in that game. Book it. He's going to have 2 fumbles in that game. Book it.
2 picks to Mika.
I don't care about the picks. He's going to fumble the ball twice.
Can we pray to God, please don't let COVID-19 take that game away, because we need Darren back on podcast.
Exactly. Schedule looks pretty reasonable. I'm not gonna go game by game and predict anything anymore because I tend to be wrong. Especially was wrong last season. So, but the rest of the time, I'm just gonna kick it over to my fellow Steeler Nation, dog. So, Skylar, take it away.
You know, man, how earlier I mentioned how the stars have to align for things that are special. But that happened with the Dallas Cowboys this season, baby. I'm so excited. We get to go to Dallas November 8th. Everybody, my family gets to go. Nobody asked you, it's not your turn.
That's
Let them know. Let it be known.
Not your turn. We are rolling into Dallas November the 8th in the Cowboys Stadium. I can't wait. I'm not going to say if it's going to be a win or lose. There will be more Pittsburgh Steelers fans in there. I know that for a fact.
I don't know about that.
I've already talked to all the Pittsburgh Steelers fans. We're going.
We're
going. Pittsburgh is going to fly from Pittsburgh to Memphis, and then we're going from Memphis to Dallas. I've already talked to them. It's happening. Like Trevor said, we get to play the NFC East. We get to avenge our terrible loss against the Philadelphia Eagles a couple years ago. I got over that, but I got your turn. Got your turn. To avenge that loss. So, of course, let me see. So, we got the Ravens on the twice. Don't forget, I ain't forgot about that bet, Sheedy.
Yes,
I ain't forgot about that bet because we're not getting swept by the Ravens. You can book that, and we play them on Thanksgiving. I think that's it.
Yes, we do. Ooh,
so I ain't forgot about that bet. Yep. You said we'll get swept by them, and that ain't not happening.
I agree, Sheedy. I agree. I agree.
I'm gonna double down.
Yeah, so we got the Giants key game. Tennessee Titans is a key game.
Yes.
That's a key game we got on there. We got, of course, got the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's see.
Don't skip over the Eagles. Don't skip over the Eagles. What happened last time we played y'all?
I said we got the terrible loss we had from 4 years ago. We got the butt kick. I admit mine. We got the Cleveland Browns on the schedule. I'm still not scared of the Cleveland Browns. I don't care who they sign. I don't care about the Cleveland Browns. We will take both games from the Cleveland Browns. We will take both games from the Cleveland Browns.
Coach now.
I don't care what the coach is. Let's see. We got the Ravens on there. Got the Cowboys, of course, I mentioned on November 8th. Can I wait for that game? Cincinnati. I ain't worried about Joe Burrow and the crew. Yeah, I'm ready. I don't think
there's outside of the Ravens game and maybe the Cowboys game and possibly the Eagles, I don't see someone on the schedule that I just be like,
Titans? Hello? Hello?
Sorry, Sharky.
Are you?
I see you now.
Outside of those 4.
I have a question for the Steelers fans.
Yes.
Okay, so let me find y'all schedule really quick fast. I was just on it. I have some concerns for the Steelers. Not that you guys will be bad. I think y'all will be better this year. But I'm looking into the future of y'all boy Benjamin Roethlisberger, right? Your boy, he is not mobile, right? So let's go down the defenses that he got to see. You feel me? So he got to see that boy J.J. Watt. He got to see that the Titans.
Oh, you said who?
Can I finish?
Who can't stay on the field? J.J. Watt, who can't stay on the field?
Can I finish? Thank you. So this is J.J. Watt in week 3. This is early in the season.
He's hurt by week 1.
He'll be hurt by week 2.
Week 3. So let me continue. You got the Titans, who defense is nothing to sneeze at, of course.
Nashville players.
You got my boy Fletcher. And y'all old boy Hargrave coming through too. Y'all know about him. Scott told me about him. You know what I'm saying? Cleveland got Miles Garrett. You know what I'm saying? Baltimore.
We're not getting 12 by Baltimore. We are not getting 12 by Baltimore.
Then you got to deal with Shitty Boy D-Law. You know what I'm saying? So is he even going to make it to Dallas after last year when he was hurt? That's my concern for the Pittsburgh Steelers. I cheer for this. I rock with you, but I don't know if he's gonna make it to that November. What was that 8th? I don't know. We might see Duck again. I don't know.
He might
Can I answer your question, Savage? Can I answer your question if he's going to make it to November 8th?
Yes.
I don't know.
I saw it. Like, you got a point.
I'm crossing my fingers. I'm expecting us to go 8-8, maybe 10-6. If he plays the whole season, or if he plays 13, 14 games of the season, I go 10-6. Because I mean, you at least got to give him 2 games. We went 8-8 last year, so I go 10-6. If I have to put a number on it, I go 10-6.
Okay.
Yeah, that's reasonable.
Y'all want Jalen Hurts? We'll trade for a first round pick.
No, we good.
Come on, man. What is slow?
Come out for a first round pick.
Sorry for a first round pick. Okay. Who next? Get off the Steelers, man. Ain't got time for this. November 8th.
I want to hear the Cowboys now. What's up with the Cowboys?
I mean, I ain't gonna be too much.
Let's pull up the Cowboys schedule really quick.
Our schedule is more. I'm more or less concerned about our schedule as we always start to kind of either lose traction or gain traction in the end. And the end of our schedule is backloaded with a lot of away games. So we're after the win in November 8th against Pittsburgh. We had to go to Minnesota. We had the Redskins. We're at Baltimore. We're at Joe Burrow, but we'll beat them. San Francisco's at home. Philly, we have at home, and then we close at the Giants. As always, Philly always plays tough. Beat us definitely last year, and we deserve to get that L. We're definitely looking forward to greener pastures this upcoming year. I think our first kind of test, to be honest to you, I'm nervous about September 27th when we play the Seahawks at Seattle. Early on.
Yeah, that's a tough one.
Well, that's a loss.
I asked you about the 8-8 Steelers. Can I talk? Thank you, Mike Tomlin. But that's the one game I think that scares me the most at the beginning of our schedule. I'm not really concerned about the Rams because I feel like they're just kind of imploding from the inside. Definitely I'm concerned about the Falcons. I do. And I circle right past them as I do with the Giants as well at home. Now the Cardinals will be interesting. We're playing them at Dallas. So that's why I'm not really too big on that one. So I think the beginning of our schedule. Huh?
Who guard D-Hop?
Zone.
Ooh. They just better hope D-Law get the Kyler Murray. That's
yeah. So we'll crawl on the front seven. But to be honest, like I said, the one game that scares is really the Seahawks in the beginning. Again, when we play Philly, any divisional opponent not named the Redskins or the Giants scares me. So I just leave the Eagles.
We split every year, so it's a 1-1 for us every time.
Exactly. That's respect. 1-1. And so like I said, I think this is a schedule that we can, barring injuries on both ends, like the teams we play and our team, I think we can definitely get a 10-6 in. If not better. I think 10-6 is should be our floor.
10-6 will get you in this year because there'll be 7 playoff teams on each side. So really, you can be 8-8.
Yeah. I don't want to chance it anymore and leave it up to somebody. But I think a 10-6 should be solid for us this upcoming season. No, I think the Steelers are going 8-8.
What about the other team?
Oh, the Panthers?
Yeah.
The Panthers are. You might as well just reverse that, and that's like 6-10. But who knows? They may go 1-15 like they did back in 2001, or may go 2-14 like they did a couple of years ago. It's on you, though, too. I'm sorry.
Honestly, just straight up, because we acknowledge that we are in a rebuilding phase and we actually know who's going to be starting week 1. for our quarterback position, I think 6-10 is a pretty good rebuilding season. You know what I'm saying? That's actually what I had. Of course we could somehow overachieve 8-8, but 6-10, I think if you start off, a rebuild at 6-10, you good.
So if you're about to go ahead and go, I think people sleeping on y'all, to be honest. I mean, I really think so. Because I feel like now that McCaffrey is the focal point, y'all defense is not bad, And then you got
our defense is so inexperienced. I don't think that we're gonna have enough talent there especially on their first.
I don't know, man. It's an offensive league though.
And that's why I think people are sleeping on us. You know what I'm saying? Because we have a lot of underrated wide receivers. McCaffrey, who's probably the best playmaker outside of Patrick Mahomes. The offense is his now, and then you get somebody that's steady like Teddy Bridgewater. That's why I'm like 8-8. I'm cool. It's a rebuilding season. You know what I'm saying? But right now, I just got a 6-10. I'm cool with that.
I can't see 8-8 when half of that is probably going to come to the Bucks and the Saints.
Yeah.
So 79, 6-10 is kind of more reasonable for y'all, especially in a rebuilding year.
I mean, like she didn't like to brag on me or whatever thing, but I don't expect us having a successful season because we are rebuilding. However, if the Cowboys are 8-8, which they were last season, I don't think y'all increase or decrease. It's just a matter of, y'all still in the same place y'all was 20, 30 years ago, which is nothing. But it is what it is.
My concern for the Carolina Panthers, I think you guys will be pretty good defensively, but offensively, I'm not sold. I haven't seen too much of Teddy Bridgewater. I'm sorry. I mean, nobody has. Teddy Bridgewater fan. I haven't seen Teddy Bridgewater just light up a scoreboard. And so my concern is, your offense may be good with Christian McCaffrey, and then you got Teddy Bridgewater coming in, but you don't have the same offense. You don't have the weapons they had.
They got arguably the best running back in the league in McCaffrey. That's one. They just got Robbie Anderson. That's speed. They got the rookie who's no longer a rookie anymore at receiver. That's that. Bridgewater is a manageable quarterback. He's better than a lot of other quarterbacks. I know that much.
Exactly my issue. It's exactly my issue. He's a manageable quarterback in the same division as Tom Brady.
Is him and Garoppolo tit for tat though?
And all three of those teams, except the Falcons, can put up points, right? So that's my concern with the Panthers. I don't think that they can compete with New Orleans and Tampa Bay offensively.
I think we'll have one of the most underrated offenses in the league because at the same time, DJ Moore, he was top 7, I think.
Yeah, he was solid last year.
Like he was great last season. Curtis Samuel. Hopefully,
it was also with a bad Tampa Bay, right? It's a bad Tampa Bay team last year.
I mean, we had Kyle Allen throwing the ball too. And we went 5-11. So.
Don't be surprised if you don't like Teddy Bridgewater. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point,
he was throwing to arguably one of the top 3 or 4 best receivers in the league.
And he still didn't put up touchdowns like that.
No, I mean, they beat us 12-10.
I mean, did we forget that Teddy took the Vikings to the plaplayoffs too? I mean, he's not a bad quarterback. He's not though. He was a rookie.
He didn't do enough for me to say
Jimmy Garoppolo is the same quarterback to me. It's like a quarterback that can manage the game and get your team to not be bad.
Right, but they're worse in the NFC West where ain't nobody putting up points. This is the NFC South. Tampa Bay is going to
NFC West not putting up points. Seattle
does not put up points.
That's not Seattle. The 49ers, the Rams.
Can
the Rams?
Can we pause? It's about 2 minutes. Can you just go to our 6th victory?
No, I'm enjoying y'all conversation. Man, my expectations for the season are low. Like I said, I acknowledge the rebuild. I'm not one of them fans. So it's like, we better have a great first season. It's just first season without Cam Newton since 2011. Like that's who we built our franchise around for nearly 10 years, and you let him go. Luke Kuechly gone.
I say this: just don't be surprised if Matt Rule gets this thing popping.
He has a potential to.
But Teddy Bridgewater leaves.
Yeah.
Don't be surprised.
So the 6 wins. Back to the 6 wins.
He wants you to count the 6 wins.
2.
Yeah, I do 6 wins. You want me to count them out?
Yeah.
Hold on, let me go to him.
Man, don't sleep on 8. I think 8 might get 8.
I got us.
I gave him 7.
I got us being the Raiders. I got us being us being the Chargers. I got us being Atlanta once because that's what we always do. Mm-hmm. I got us beating the Bears.
Oh, now we're next close.
No, that defense really
I got us beating the Bears. I got us beating
Lions,
the Lions. I got us beating
Broncos, Vikings.
Broncos.
I'll go up.
Redskins. Come on, man. Come on now.
Redskins,
I'm
Packers.
telling you.
The Redskins. I don't know about the Redskins, but
We gonna beat the Redskins.
I don't even know about the Redskins.
The Redskins. I'm sleep.
Okay.
I'm sleep. I'm sleep.
We want to make
Right.
sure we beat Ron Rivera that first time, dog. Come on.
Redskins. I'm sleep.
So what was that?
Man.
8? I think that was 8. Yeah, 8-8.
Thank you,
The Redskins.
They know.
The Redskins. Tell them, CD. Tell them about the Redskins.
I think that
It's because of the quarterback. It's because of the quarterback, ain't it? Ohio State.
If they can give us a problem this year, they for sure gonna beat the Panthers. So
Okay.
I believe.
I wish I could screenshot it. I think that defense is going to be legit.
Yeah, I think they're gonna be a little bit tougher than what they're bargained for. I also think you're overstepping your boundaries with the Chargers, but that's neither here nor there. But we're not about the Panthers anymore. On to somebody else.
Is it my go?
Please.
All right. The Eagles got a tough schedule. Period. Like let me just go through the hard games that I see off top. I'm not worried about Washington. We'll probably sweep them. I'm never worried about the Giants. We'll probably sweep them. Cowboys will probably split, as we always do. It's just a matter of where it's gonna be at. We just don't know. Y'all have known for the past 3 years. I'm not worried about the Rams. They can't beat Carson Wentz. They can't beat Nick Foles. They can't beat Nate Sudfeld. It don't matter. Bengals, not worried about them. San Fran could be a problem. Pittsburgh, they can go either way. I'll be honest about that. They go either way.
Well, it's in Pittsburgh, so yeah, I'll give you that.
It can go either way.
Yeah.
Let me see. Seattle's guaranteed loss. We have never beaten Russell Wilson and Pete Carroll. It's never happened. So everywhere else, the Saints come to Philly. I think we can beat them when they come to Philly.
Yeah.
So honestly, it's a hard schedule. But I think we go 11-5. 11-5.
Okay, you got y'all beating the Ravens.
Yep, in Philly. Yep, in Philly. Yep.
I see that because it's at Philly. Okay.
Yeah. I think San Fran gonna be tough. That's West Coast trip. Nah, that might be is that a short week? Nah, that's like Sunday Night Football. That's gonna be hard. I ain't counting on that one. But everywhere else, like we beat Green Bay in Green Bay last year. I'm not worried about that. We've beaten them before. Really, the only game that I'm concerned about is one of the Dallas games, the Seahawks game, Pittsburgh because it's Pittsburgh.
Okay.
But I mean, we saw what happened in Carson's rookie year. When Carson put up 30 to 4
We didn't have a defense then. It's okay. We didn't have a defense then. We have a defense this
We
year.
got defense now.
Okay.
We have a defense this year.
Y'all have offense is the question because
I ain't worried about that. I didn't say that. Defense.
we
So
got
you ain't running up the score. What y'all beat us like 2017 or 27-3 last time?
34-3. Get it right.
34-3.
You ain't getting 25. You're not getting 25 this year. You're not getting 25. You're not getting 20. 34-3. Okay.
We're not getting 25 against Pittsburgh. We're not getting 25.
Worth it. But they ain't getting. I'll be lucky. They'll be lucky if they get 20.
25.
They'll be lucky if they get 20. And it's in Pittsburgh.
25.
You'll be lucky if you get 20.
20.
I'd be lucky if you get 20.
Okay, so let me make it clear. So you're saying 20 on offense. So if we get a pick 6 from Big Play Slay.
You will not score more than 25 points on offense. Is my
Nah, which one? 20, 25? Pick one. Don't talk about it.
You'd be lucky if you get 20. You'd be lucky if you get 20.
Lucky for 20. Wow. Okay, let me put that in my notes. Lucky
to
get 20.
You got better defense this year.
Okay, I have a question. What is y'all's opinion about Carson Wentz in terms of like playing against Pittsburgh? Because we saw what happened his rookie year.
What week y'all playing on?
He'll throw a pick or two.
Week 5.
He'll throw 2 touchdowns. 2 touchdowns, 2 picks. Throw over like 275.
What we can play on? I knew 2 was about to go here.
What week you playing on? That's it.
Is that at night or is that during the day?
I know 2 going.
Yeah, you know where I was at.
Pittsburgh Giant? That's Sunday Night Football.
It's a noon game. It's a noon game.
Oh, I thought you was Sunday night. I was like, if it's Sunday night, I'll put 50 on that game that you wouldn't win if it was at night. But it's not at night.
It's not that night.
You said we ain't putting up 20 though. Like, ooh, okay, all right. Look, I'm not saying y'all no slouch, but I mean, let's not forget who Carson Wentz is now. Let's not act like he's some trash.
Yeah, we had a terrible defense. Terrible defense.
I'm going to go on record again.
And Ben was terrible that game too. So
I say, yeah, I'm going on record by saying the NFC East best quarterback is Carson.
That's facts.
Yeah, when
Yeah, if he can stay in the game.
yeah,
That's
facts.
He played all 16 last year. I'm not getting to the debate now.
I'm just saying, bro.
Very nice. Okay, next.
And I'm just saying, bro. No, you rock with me with the Panthers, bro. You
and Andy Dalton.
You rock with me, bro.
All right, Sharky. What's up, them Titans?
Some of them Titans.
Man,
Tighten up,
Titans,
baby.
man. That is,
Tighten
I love
up.
my Titans, and y'all like the Titans, so ain't no shit talking.
It might be. Let me see what's up.
Look, y'all beat the Patriots in the playoffs. Y'all, so we good.
Hopefully, COVID-19 allows. We played the Denver Broncos. First game of the season, Monday Night Football. I've never been to Denver. I plan to fly to Denver to go to the game. I've already been in contact with some Titans fans, and we all taking the trip.
Sharky got money. Sharky got money.
$35, man.
But look at y'all know, man, we've been 9-7 4 years in a row. We won on the 4 teams that had a winning record, but we had the same exact record the last 4 years. So I thought it would be, fun to say 9-7 again. I ain't gonna do that, man. I'm gonna say 11-5.
There you go, man. Be positive, man. You got time. You ain't got time to
Marcus Mariota ain't coming on the center no more. That was 9-6. Play 10 games. We won 9-7, of course, but he only played 10. He played 16, probably been 12 or something. I don't know. Give me 11-5. That's good. They say we got one of the easiest schedules. Honestly, me, look at the schedule and knowing the NFL, there's no such thing as easy schedule except the Patriots last year. Let me hold that thought. Patriots last year, only exception.
The Patriots every year because they guarantee 6 wins. So
help me until this year.
Until now, yeah.
Yeah, so, I mean,
Y'all being the Bills? Are y'all being the Bills?
Hopefully. What's the video with Kodak Black? I hope so.
I think so.
I hope so.
I hope so, yeah.
And Vito's last 2 times we played them, so I can't really, just go down. Now, we beat the Steelers. See y'all October 4th.
That's a great answer.
See y'all October 4th for that beat down in Nashville. Y'all
Won't there.
No.
It's only 3 hours from here. I'm down. I'll be outside this day.
Oh, was it Nashville? Y'all better make that drive, man.
Yeah, we're making that drive.
I got Baby Eve on the way. I'll only get 2 trips this year.
Man, take a picture.
I'll only get 2 trips. There's Memphis and Auburn and Pittsburgh now. I'll get 2.
Okay.
Sorry. About to miss it.
Yeah, I can't do both. I'm already trying to do Dallas. So yeah, it's gonna be a tough one.
Yeah, look at us. We play NFC North. The Vikings will be tough one. The other 3, I'm not really that worried about. Well, take it back. We played Green Bay at Lambeau.
So what about the Browns?
We played Green Bay in
When
Lambeau
did-
December 27th. So that's a loss.
Woo!
Yeah, that's a loss.
Have fun with that one.
Yeah, that's a loss. Ain't no have fun. That's a loss. Play the Bears at home. My dad tried to call me talking stuff too. I'm like, bro, we'll see you in Nashville. Played the Texans twice. What's going on with them? We played at Baltimore. That's a loss. That's revenge for them. They probably. Yeah, exactly. They prepared for it.
That's the thing about Baltimore. I mean, I feel like they're going to be a good team, but not as good as last year. I feel like y'all can probably beat them, honestly.
Exactly one way they not
Savage.
sweeping.
That's why we
Savage. We embarrassed them. Savage. We embarrassed them. They come if they don't play any. They go 1-15.
You embarrassed them, but you didn't step on a terrible towel, though. So you're okay. I said you embarrassed them, but you didn't step on a terrible towel like Lindell White and did back in the day.
That was a regular season game.
You'll be
Saw
okay.
what happened to us in the playoffs. Yeah, who had Kerry Collins to go to back? I didn't believe we won no Super Bowl.
That's a name. You so old that Kerry Collins was going to back.
But yeah, I go with 11-5. We be in playoffs. Even go 9-7, we make playoffs in 7 teams.
Sure. That's one good thing about the new format is that a lot more teams can make the playoffs. So more football is better for everybody. I like it. More football.
I like it.
Yeah.
We saying a whole lot. This is one more team. This is one more team.
I just don't like it.
I think for the Titans, as I look at y'all's schedule after Baltimore, it's pretty.
We got 5 out there 7 games on the road now.
Ooh.
At Indy, at
You
Jacksonville.
know how many times we beat Indianapolis in the last 10 years?
Oh, what's that? Only one?
Twice.
Oh,
Close.
We like 20 or something. I don't
Oh,
know.
Phillip Rivers.
Well, y'all got you got to deal with Phillip Rivers, so it'll be much easier.
Now, I thought about this, but one Titans fan hit me up on Twitter, right? I know he's on the downslope, but Phillip Rivers, when he played with Chargers used to be us every time we played them too. And Phillip Rivers, I saw his stats every single time he played us.
Like that ass.
Yeah. So he woke me up on that one. I was like, he might play 2 good games and be against us all of a sudden. So I hope reservations on them too, because it's the Colts, and we just for some reason we see that horseshoe in. Yeah.
I don't know why. But what I was getting at, I think the back end of your schedule starting at Indianapolis, but you win or lose that one.
Play Cleveland.
Cleveland, at Jacksonville, versus Detroit, at Green Bay, at
That's a
Houston.
lot.
I think these are kind of decent games for y'all to get ready for the playoff or playoff run, to be honest. And I think y'all are going to be in the playoffs. And I think of those games, right? I mean that makes you a better team, though, right? Winning on the road, because not every game is going to be at home. So if y'all can prove what y'all need to prove with beating Jacksonville, Indianapolis, and Green Bay, and the Texans, I think y'all be pretty good stance. I really would like to see a 3 seed from y'all this upcoming.
Yeah. I'll say this. I'm looking at y'all's schedule, and if you win these games against like the Vikings, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, if you win 2 of those 3, y'all can get a decent cushion for like a top seed, like a 1 or 2 seed, in my opinion. Because I feel like y'all defense is legit. Nobody wants to tackle Derrick Henry. Like when it comes to about December, November, anybody tackling that, man? We saw that last year.
AJ Brown either.
So if you get like a decent cushion, like if you go like 6-2 your first 8 games, you got a nice enough cushion that on that back 8, the back 8 games, in my opinion.
Prediction is 6-2 the first 8.
Yeah, so if you do that, it's gonna be a problem because I ain't tackling that man. Good luck with that.
I have 2 really quick things. You talk about a 1 seed in the AFC. That's booked. Don't look at the Kansas City.
The Kansas City Chiefs.
Yeah.
And they have it booked.
Okay.
Okay. Have you seen this schedule? Have you seen this schedule?
It's still Andy Reid, man.
Schedule is easy.
It's still Andy Reid, man.
Okay, the second seed. I'm just letting you know if I can't see the Chiefs.
It's still Andy Reid, man.
I said 3 seed.
He won the Super Bowl last
Right, just won Super Bowl last year.
Exactly.
Again, if Pat Mahomes overcomes, clearly, Mr. 30.4 game himself, Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl.
You know, Andy Reid always killed them in the regular season anyway.
Kansas City Chiefs are going to the Super Bowl.
They're going to Super Bowl?
Going to the Super Bowl, my brother.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Pat Mahomes. And then lastly, the Cincinnati Bengals will only have 3 wins. Enough said. Just that over that. They're still not that good.
That's the one that was going to be against the Steelers.
What are you smoking?
Oh, man.
Move on to this trolling now.
Am I going first?
Oh, yeah, you got it.
Okay. So, been watching the Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls documentary, and I'm looking at like all the different like player movement that has happened. So like the recent episode was like BJ Armstrong talking trash to the Bulls. Terrible decision. I don't know why he talked trash to Michael Jordan.
He knew he was just winning one
All
game.
people.
He thought he was just well.
Right. So it got me thinking about player movement in general. And like I said last week with like Draymond Green, as far as like he won't be on the Warriors for much longer. I do think he'll be on the team for the next like maybe 1 or 2 years, maybe, unless he just goes crazy. But I do acknowledge that the importance he has as a 3rd, maybe even 4th wheel. So my troller now is Draymond Green will win another NBA championship for another future or possibly current super team. I.e., I'm looking at Brooklyn. I'm looking at wherever Giannis goes. If he goes to LA, I don't know.
Golden State.
Hey, I mean, I don't see him staying with Golden State if Giannis is there, if they got Wiseman too. But I think
Trade-wise,
my gut
I think they trade Wilder.
my gut
Hell no.
is feeling Brooklyn for Draymond to reconcile with Kevin Durant. So Kyrie, KD, Draymond controlling
blow
the
the team up for real.
Right.
You really trying to blow this?
Another super team, I give you that. But Brooklyn, I was with you until you said Brooklyn. I can't say Brooklyn. Right.
You said Memphis?
Draymond too headstrong to even want to try to go to Brooklyn. I can't see that. I can see he can go somewhere else, which I think he will, but I can't say Brooklyn.
People couldn't see Rodman in Chicago with MJ. I mean,
That's different.
hey, anything's possible.
For him in LA right after that.
Yeah.
Great.
So I'm definitely rock with you, Savage, on this one, bro. Y'all know I love Draymond. Definitely one of my favorite players because he uses his IQ more than anything. I mean, one of his biggest things is becoming the next superstar player, in my opinion, and that's combining, a Ben Simmons with, a Draymond Green, weight or height or something like that. Somebody you can put at the center that you can immediately go down and make plays for other people. And that's something that Draymond Green does arguably better than, anybody in the league. That's what got the Warriors, the 73 wins. That's what got them the championship game. So it's like you put Draymond Green really in any NBA team and he'll be able to do his thing. Like the numbers won't be high, but that defensive intensity will be there, and that offensive playmaking that, to me, he's the best playmaker on the Warriors team. You're going to get that with any team, and I think that's a player you can win a championship with anyway.
Let me ask y'all this. Name a time where Kyrie Irving has played an offensive set off the ball.
LeBron.
That's LeBron James.
Never.
Exactly. This is not going to work.
He had the ball in his
If he
hands
was
as much as LeBron did.
I mean,
Exactly.
the thing about it's not gonna work is people get older, people get mature. I think Kyrie was. I feel like he will acknowledge what Kobe did. It took a while for Kobe to understand. I need Pau Gasol to help me out. I need Lamar Odom to help me out. Again, Powell's an all-star player. Odom is not really. He's a very fringe all-star player. Draymond is an all-star if he's in his groove. And so I think that as Kyrie gets older, just if I'm referencing Brooklyn, I think as Kyrie gets older, he would appreciate somebody like Draymond with him to kind of bring, like Toop said, that defensive intensity, similar to what Rodman did for Jordan, bringing his rebounding and defensive intensity and kind of eccentricity, if that's a word, to the team. Not saying it's 100% going to happen, but I feel like Draymond going to go to a team that's like that, might take a little bit less money, but knowing that he'll be like, a small ball five to just rebound, play make, hit that ugly jumper at top of the key occasionally, and just get carried to the ring, I think.
Now, if we are talking about the Nets, though, like I think the Nets will honestly be a great, perfect team for
It's
them.
perfect, yeah.
Because, like, even if you look at JaVale McGee, like JaVale McGee was very successful. At one point, I think he had his the highest percentage of field goal percentage in the league at one point. He may have ended the season with it, but that's because of the easy lobs from Draymond Green. You know what I'm saying? Just defend the paint, catch these easy lobs. Kevin Durant on the wing, let me get him the ball as much as possible. Whoever you start at shooting guard, whether it's LeVert, you know what I'm saying? Get him the ball that open shots. Kyrie, that could be the Steph Curry of the team, you know what I'm saying? Shoot it will, but I think at the end of the day, you do need somebody that don't need the ball to be successful. And Draymond is one of the best at that.
I mean, Toop, you was smacking me for the team I'm about to mention. They'll be perfect for Draymond in this.
I mean, what's up?
You know what team I'm about to say? It's the team that's red. Yep.
The Rockets.
That'll be a good fit too, I think.
Oh
so.
my God.
I didn't think about that.
I couldn't agree more. Because as soon as Draymond get that rebound, you got Russ slashing and James Harden on the left.
What, Shark? I like that one better. Actually, I like that one better.
I think that happens.
They already started.
I think that happens. Because I think that happens because D'Antoni is gone at the end of the season. They are already looking at possibly hiring Tibbs back, which for some reason I don't know why.
That would be a terrible coach.
Yeah, terrible idea. If he's somehow there,
you need somebody from the Steve Kerr lineage. You got to have somebody from that Phoenix Suns offense because that's essentially what got them there.
Yep.
Hey, another team, just like a tough team that fits Draymond's mindset, Miami.
Yeah.
Brother.
Oh,
They'll get along just
that'd be
fine.
nice. Yeah, that'd be nice.
Get
I
along
like
just
it.
fine.
Fire.
Hey,
Can we talk
y'all
about
know
this?
that he's not going
Get
there.
rid of some of the white people you got on your team.
Can we talk about this dumb trade everybody's putting this rumor about for?
Another Robinson and Tyler Hero.
What you saying, Trevor?
But like,
Can we talk about this idiotic trade that everybody's talking about with this rumor with Philly and Miami?
About what?
we got to talk real. I want to.
It's a rumor per se that they're talking about Tyler Hero, Bam, and I think the third. I think it was K9. Basically,
Nah, it was Duncan Robinson.
Oh, it's Duncan Robinson? No, well, excuse me. But those three players basically for Joel Embiid.
Hell no.
Exactly.
Ooh.
Okay. Hell no.
Yeah.
Moving on. This because y'all talk about Draymond, I really felt the Bleacher Report came out with like the best decade teams. Right? I don't know if you all have had a chance to look at that. I have no reason why Draymond was on there. But before we go to next, there's disrespect in the 80s. And the 80s team had all 80s team about a Bleacher Report was Larry Bird,
Obviously.
Magic Johnson,
Obviously.
Michael Jordan, Moses Malone, and Charles Barkley.
Ooh, no Kareem?
No Kareem?
Nope, he didn't make that team either. Now, a person that that doesn't get a lot of like credit for what he did in the 80s as small forward, especially as Julius Erving.
I was just about to say
They
that.
choose between him and most of the line.
Yeah,
They chose
it's-
most of the line.
And so,
Most
like,
Malone was a beast, man. Walking bucket.
So I would have took Barkley out of the 80s because I think Barkley was better in the 90s, clearly, because he got the MVP that season.
Right.
That season,
Yeah.
right?
Obviously.
So I think you put Julius Erving in that 80s team and move Barkley out. I think I would like that better. But
Or Kareem.
or Kareem.
He got to make one of them things.
But like, Dr. J doesn't get his roses right now. He
Yeah.
swept the Lakers during the Showtime Lakers.
Yep.
They only lost during that playoff run that they did. They were very similar to the Lakers, where they only lost one game that entire time. And this is not like trolling on. I just want more respect for Dr. J. That's really all this is about. Start talking about Draymond Green, and I started thinking about that, about the 80s.
Dr. J is like the original, like, I know he was a superstar for the ABA, but like he had that aura of like, oh, that's Dr. J. Like before even like Magic, like it was Dr. J was like that dude, you know. And like you said, I think people forget as we get further away from the 70s, like dude was a walking bucket too. He'll give you 30 a game for real.
And average over 24 points a game.
Not shooting threes. Like I'm talking about dunking on yours.
Exactly.
I saw his documentary too.
Probably.
We got time for one.
All right. So it was kind of a question that I put in for me. Yeah, I think about a week or two ago. I personally think, because watching this Last Dance, you realize how many good or great players Michael Jordan stopped from getting a NBA championship ring. And then I also think about LeBron James. And I think about there are so many good and great players in this era too that won't win a championship ring. So my troll and all is LeBron James would have stopped more good or great players from getting a championship ring than Michael Jordan. There you have it. Does that make sense?
You said he would have stopped more players?
He would have.
LeBron James would have stopped more good to great players from stopping. He would have stopped them from getting a championship ring more than Michael Jordan would have stopped all those players in his era from getting a championship ring. Does that make sense?
Oh, so you're saying LeBron in the 90s?
No, LeBron now. I'm saying
now.
like if you the run that Michael Jordan had, whether it was the 80s and the 90s, all those players that did not get a championship ring, really in more so the 90s, like the Barkleys, the Ewings, Reggie Millers, all those players that didn't get a ring in the 90s. Also, exactly.
These like damn strip.
Also look at all the good or great players that are in the era in which LeBron James played, and how many of those players at the end of the day, once it's all said and done, would have had a championship ring or would not have had a championship ring because LeBron and man, it's still Curry too.
I would still go with Mike because at the end of the day, like, what great players haven't really won a ring?
I guess when it's all said and done at the end of it, because you got to think about, like, I mean, it's a lot of good. I think it's more good players in this era now than it was in the 90s.
I mean, if you think about the current great players that hadn't won a ring yet, honestly, it's probably Giannis, Embiid, Ben Simmons,
Melo,
Harden, and Russell. Yeah, but that's. I mean, and they got plenty of time left.
So what we mean by stop as far as good players. Right. So I mean, if we're looking, like, if we go back to look at what LeBron has done, as far as like who he played, teams that he has stopped, I can't even like a dominant team. I can't even remember like a Derrick Rose.
Got hurt. I mean,
the 11th squad.
They were supposed to win it.
He tore his ACL.
I don't know. Off the top of my head, I don't know who LeBron has like stopped from getting the ring because he's been out east. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know, back in like the mid 2000s, early teens, like yeah, Detroit had won. The Knicks weren't that good. I mean, Melo, I guess, but they never played a first round. A matchup in the playoffs. So
he was in the West half the time too.
Right. So I can't really say. Meanwhile, Jordan played. I mean, Ewing, Barkley, Peyton, like all these guys. Like, he met them eventually. You know.
Yeah, don't forget. A lot of people say this far short too. That Miami Heat team in the 90s.
Yeah.
With Zoe, Tim Hardaway. Yeah, they was something serious too. Yeah.
Off the top of my head, LeBron did a lot of trading, like losses. So like the Spurs, he traded with the Spurs.
I was just about to say that.
Yeah. I mean, Dallas was not dirt.
Yeah, he did. He does have a lot of losses.
Yeah, so I'm like, I mean, if anything, he helped people get rings. I mean, Dirk got a ring.
he beat OKC, Kevin Durant joined the Warriors and beat him. So, you know,
people want rings in his area.
You know what I'm saying? Like, so, it's trouble. Yeah. It's just that's the proof in the pudding right there. It's like, I mean, I can't really. The East was weak, man. The East was slaw. I'm sorry. I can't remember another team that, aside from Boston, that went head up with Miami. Detroit, the tail end of Detroit, like.
The tail end of Detroit, Boston, Miami when he was in Cleveland. The Pacers.
I guess Paul George. There we go. I
mean, he with the Clippers now, you know.
He might get him one. Who knows? I don't know.
Paul George used to be like a top 3 player in the NBA. People used to regard Paul George as a top 3 NBA. He was.
I don't know about top 3.
I don't know about that.
Hold on. Whoa. Bro was in the MVP voting last season. Let's not forget.
He won the top 3 players.
Right. Even when he was in the NBA, he won top 3. I think it was more than top 3.
Yeah, I think top 30.
Oh, and right now he is being a janitor. I don't know where.
No, this is Paul George. I'm saying even being top 3 MVP. I'm not saying you third best player.
Nah, I was
like number 7 here.
Troll by the fry.
So,
Luke, I know you had one that you was holding in. Got enough time to squeeze in one more.
That's what she said.
Okay. So yeah.
I get a button that says that first one. Gotta get a button that says
we need to.
So the other day, me and Sheedy actually had a nice conversation, you know, outside of our.
That's a troll.
Cordial? What? Did I record this?
Hey, good point. Nah, but we remember. You know, it's between us, you know, but nah. So I just got to thinking, like, if there was any team that Jordan would be a perfect fit on in today's NBA, it would honestly be the Memphis Grizzlies. So I think to start off, you know, trolling out, if Michael Jordan could join any team today, the best fit for Michael Jordan would be the Memphis Grizzlies. So the Memphis Grizzlies don't have a premier scorer outside of, you know, Ja Morant. You know, people say that Jaren Jackson is supposed to be that scorer, but honestly, I don't see, you know, Jaren being as much of a scorer as people think he is. So if you insert a Michael Jordan who takes away shots from, you know, Dylan Brooks or, you know, saying, or what's the guy's name that I'm having a brain fart, Josh Jackson. You take shots on him and put him to Michael Jordan. It's like, ain't no telling how the Grizz ceiling is. So
I have a team.
Yeah.
It may not be as good as the Grizzlies,
one too.
but I was just about to say, I think the Miami Heat. I was just about to say, I think the Miami Heat. I think
Miami Heat, but you still got to deal with like having the ball in Jimmy's hands. You know, Bam. Bam.
he just not need the ball. He would be. I mean, you talking about like somebody that can run as a pivot to Michael Jordan.
Jimmy Butler's perfect with it. Yeah.
That's true too.
Now,
Shout out to Jimmy Butler.
personality-wise, I think Jimmy and Jordan would clash in a good way. But Scotty was like the perfect Robin for Jordan's Batman. So I think my team, just looking at the makeup of the team in terms of like the players around him, the level of talent, I think honestly the Oklahoma City Thunder. You got Chris Paul, the point guard, got a nice dolphin point guard like BJ Armstrong. Shai Gilgeous is kind of like, he's a lanky wing type player, kind of like Ron Harper that can essentially run the point, handle the ball. Jordan is the offense.
So hold on, let me ask you this though. So hypothetically, if you put Jordan on the Grizzlies and had Jordan on the Thunder, who's a better team?
Oh, Grizzlies. I mean, in my opinion, Grizzlies. I mean, but I think the actual makeup of the Thunder is more in line with the Bulls from the '90s. Steven Adams could be your big man. I don't know who's a four on the team. Trevor, do you know?
Gallinari.
Kukoc. There you go. I think Thunder will be a good team, but I mean, I wouldn't mind Jordan.
I would love them in Memphis. Yeah.
From Southeast too.
I might buy some tickets for that.
I can't even say.
They did retire his number in Miami, so I mean.
They did. It was the most stupidity ever. Yes. Look at me. Yes. Yes, I know. But Pat Riley had to deal with a lot of those Jordan teams too. It's just the point I want to make about Jordan. I think he would another good, great, better, not so good fit. I don't really care how y'all see it. I think the Spurs. I say the Spurs because Greg Popovich will be able to motivate him differently than the other coaches that we've already named. We didn't really talk about coaches, we just really talk about how the team is formatted. Whereas when you watch The Last Dance, as much praise as Michael gives everyone else, he gives it to Phil a lot. Phil knew how to coach him. So I think Greg Popovich in that same mindset would know how to coach him, and it could be very well for the Spurs.
I mean, you know how much I love Greg Popovich, so I can't go against that one. Can't go against that one at all.
I mean, but you don't have
enough trails, man. Same thing.
I would pay to see a practice with Jimmy Butler and Michael Jordan. I would pay to see that. I would pay. Whatever it costs.
Hilarious. All right, man. That was a great episode. Shout out to the future girl dance over here.
Yes. Congratulations.
It was late, I know. It was on Color People time. I get it.
I want you to get you there, man. I was going to let you.
It's all right.
I had full course meal over there, so I see why. Anyway, man, once again, rest in peace, Kobe. Salute.
81.
The Last Dance ends next week. Woo. Been a good run. We'll talk about it next week. Till then, peace.
Peace.